versus...
Whoa, wait, don't give away too much, man.
Yeah, okay, I can say clone, I want to say clone. All right, so there's like a clone bag link.
They said Jay-Z was my dad. They said...
We out here on vacation in the Bahamas, another beautiful day. Check it out, check it out. Boom. I want to talk to y'all for a minute about the power.
Do you think you're the devil himself?
No, but I do have a good mirror.
It's a serious question.
Sorry.
Do you think you're the devil himself?
I don't know. Why would you say that?
Is your money dirty money?
If you live...
I just asked a question. Is your money dirty money?
No, it's not. So, in fact...
Why is it not dirty money?
Because I earned it. A heart...
But you earned it...
Wait a second. Just when everyone thought the whole Epstein situation couldn't spiral any further, things just took a wild turn. Reports are surfacing about new names being dragged into this tangled mess, and one of them is none other than Bryshere Gray. Now, let's make this clear. This is all unconfirmed talk for now. Unless Bryshere himself steps forward to clear the air, no one really knows what's true or not. What's being whispered online is that some powerful industry figures might have been tied up in shady dealings that went way deeper than anyone expected. And guess what? Comedian Katt Williams had been hinting about this kind of thing for years, saying something big would eventually come to light. It looks like that time might be now.
Well, they do weird things in their house, and young men have left their house screaming to get away from them in their mentorship. Meek Mills, Bryshere Gray, left that house screaming. August the only one that stayed, and I guess he was really sick. He needed a doctor.
People have been linking Bryshere's downfall to names like Will Smith and Diddy, but the Epstein connection is a new twist that has everyone stunned. Let's not forget Bryshere once had one of the brightest futures in Hollywood. But now, instead of big movie deals, he's been spotted doing online gigs that fans say are a huge fall from grace. The guy went from red carpets to struggle stories in no time. And recently, things got even darker. Police were called to check on him after a major personal crisis. Right now, Bryce is reportedly battling heavy personal issues and has turned to adult content to survive.
They canceled me for talking about Harvey Weinstein before the thing came out, but he offered to suck my pics in front of all my people at my agency. What am I supposed to do? He did all of that. I'm thinking I'm the only black person on the script. I get there, it's 3 other black guys on there. Ooh, huh.
So you wonder what they did?
I told him no. What y'all do? And this is why when I walk in a room, heads go down.
The big question is, how did someone with such massive potential end up here? So, here's where things really start to heat up. Everything circles back to Bryshere's so-called mentorship program in Hollywood, the one that's been whispered about for years. Katt Williams and Jaguar Wright have been shouting the loudest about what really went down, but people brushed them off and called them wild for saying it. Word in the streets is that Katt's passion for Bryce's story comes from his own experience dealing with the darker side of Hollywood. He's mentioned before that powerful people once tried to pull him into shady situations, but he refused to play along. Katt even said that during his early days, a major film mogul once tried to pressure him into something crazy at a private mansion event, but he walked away from it immediately. Now, to understand how Bryce got tangled in this mess, you gotta look at the beginning. It all started when his former manager, Charlie Mack, who had a questionable reputation, reportedly introduced him to Will and Diddy through what was supposed to be a mentorship opportunity. This happened right when Bryce was blowing up on Empire. From the outside, it looked like the ultimate career move. Big names, big exposure, big promises. But behind the scenes, things apparently weren't as glamorous as they seemed. People now claim that what was called mentorship might have been something totally different. Around that same time, Diddy was facing serious public scrutiny and legal pressure, which makes the whole situation sound even sketchier. So while everyone thought Bryce was getting the Hollywood glow up, it turns out he might have been caught in something way darker than anyone expected. Things take an even wilder turn here. Reports say that music manager James Roseman, who later made headlines for a whole different kind of scandal, was once questioned about what certain entertainers were secretly up to. Allegedly, investigators wanted to know about big industry names and whether some of them were crossing serious lines. But back then, Diddy still held massive power in the music world, so anything negative connected to him got swept under the rug fast. It's kind of like what fans say happened with Jay-Z not too long ago, when rumors popped up online about his name being mentioned in certain lists, and suddenly those posts vanished almost instantly. That kind of silence always raises eyebrows, doesn't it? Then came Jaguar Wright, who blew everything wide open with her claims about what was supposedly going on with Bryshere under the mentorship of Will and Diddy.
Andy, I'm talking about Bryshere's mom. I'ma kick you in your in and I'ma go to work North Philly style. Fuck you. And Charlie, you happy now? He's a gay star. Are you happy now, Andy? For a book that didn't sell.
Her detailed story shocked everyone because she claimed Bryce and Meek were once seen running from a wild party gone completely out of control at Will's house. People online say they were terrified, shouting and sprinting through the street trying to escape the chaos. No one knows exactly what happened that night, but whatever went down must have been serious enough to leave a lasting mark on everyone involved. And just when everyone thought the story couldn't get more heartbreaking, Jaguar dropped another bomb about Bryshere's own mother, the one person who was supposed to be protecting him from all this madness. Now, here's the part that shocked everyone. According to Jaguar Wright, Bryshere's own mother was reportedly involved the entire time. Jaguar claimed that she allowed certain things to happen behind the scenes because she was being paid to stay quiet. It's a heartbreaking accusation that left fans speechless. Jaguar alleged that while powerful people in the industry were taking advantage of Bryce's trust, his mother stayed silent, turning a blind eye to everything. The most disturbing part is that Bryce wasn't even fully grown when all of this was said to be happening. That's what makes this entire situation so disturbing for people to even think about. Some reports even claim that old investigation files suggested there was a hidden network operating deep inside the entertainment world, one that connected many rich and famous figures together in questionable ways. One of those files allegedly mentioned that Epstein once saw Diddy as his competition. That single line alone sent shockwaves across social media. People began realizing that what looked like luxury and fame on the surface might have been hiding something way darker behind the curtain. Jaguar also said that a woman named Andrea once came to her begging for help to get Bryce away from his old manager, Charlie Mack, since he was reportedly the one connecting Bryce to the wrong people. But Andrea didn't act fast enough. Jaguar claimed that Bryce stayed caught up in that same cycle for years, and by the time he got out, his spirit was broken. It's tragic. And if you think Jaguar's or Katt Williams' claims sound bad, just wait until you hear what Will Smith's longtime friend Bilal allegedly revealed after the Epstein files were released. His accusations sent the internet into a total frenzy. So here's where things take an emotional and shocking turn. After the Epstein court files started making noise online, Will Smith's longtime friend Bilal came forward again. And this time, he shared some intense details about what Bryshere allegedly told him in private. According to Bilal, Bryce confided that he had been taken advantage of by older, powerful figures in the entertainment scene and that it completely broke him down inside. People didn't doubt Bilal's words for a second, especially since this wasn't the first time he had dropped heavy claims about what really happens behind Hollywood's glamorous image. He had already shaken the internet before when he claimed to have caught Will and Dwayne Martin in a very private and unexpected situation. That revelation alone had fans absolutely losing it online. But Bilal wasn't done yet. During a deep, emotional interview with blogger Tasha K, things got even more shocking. Viewers could see he was fighting back emotions as he explained how Bryshere once opened up to him while struggling through one of the hardest moments of his life. According to Bilal, Bryce broke down completely and said that his experiences in the industry left him traumatized and lost.
And Charlie had promised her all kinds of things. And all she had to do was pretend to be a broken down single mom who worked her way up through the ghetto and raised a superstar for television, when the truth is, she wasn't nothing but a dealer's. That's all she ever was.
Bilal claimed these words came straight from Bryce's mouth during a heart-to-heart conversation in Chicago. Whether you believe Bilal or not, one thing's for sure. His claims reignited public outrage and left everyone questioning what's really been going on behind those closed doors in Hollywood. After Bilal's emotional confession hit the internet, things exploded overnight. Clips from that interview spread across every platform, and suddenly, everyone had something to say about Bryshere, Will, and Diddy. Social media went wild with theories, and the hashtags were trending nonstop. Some people said Bilal was brave for finally speaking out, while others questioned his timing and motives. But one thing was undeniable. His words reignited the fire around one of the most controversial Hollywood stories in years. Soon after, insiders started claiming that certain networks were quietly trying to erase anything linked to the interview. Posts were disappearing, clips were being flagged, and even accounts discussing the situation were suddenly going silent. Fans began speculating that someone powerful was working behind the scenes to make it all vanish. Meanwhile, Bryshere's name became the center of every podcast, TikTok breakdown, and gossip blog headline. People started digging into his old interviews and red carpet clips, trying to find hidden clues about what he might have been going through all along. Some noticed that his energy seemed different in later appearances, more withdrawn, more guarded, almost like he was hiding deep pain behind a forced smile. Others pointed out that this wasn't the first time Hollywood insiders had tried to warn the public about the darker side of fame. Katt Williams, Jaguar Wright, and Bilal all seemed to be connecting the same dots, but few people were brave enough to say it out loud. By this point, it wasn't just about gossip anymore. It had turned into a full-blown cultural conversation about power, silence, and what really happens behind Hollywood's golden gates. As the storm kept growing, Hollywood couldn't keep quiet anymore. Journalists started asking tough questions, and the pressure was on major studios to distance themselves from anyone tied to these rumors. Suddenly, a few celebrities began posting cryptic messages online, quotes about karma, truth coming to light, and fake friends getting exposed. Fans couldn't help but think they were throwing shade at the entire situation. Behind the scenes, insiders claimed that teams were working overtime to clean up reputations and control the damage. Publicists were allegedly sending out warnings to influencers not to mention Bryshere's name on live streams or podcasts. But by then, it was too late. The internet had already connected the dots, and the story had a life of its own. Meanwhile, Bryce himself had gone completely silent. No new posts, no interviews, no sightings, nothing. Some said he checked himself into a wellness retreat to heal mentally and physically, while others believed he was being kept away from the public eye until things calmed down. Whatever the truth was, his sudden disappearance only added more mystery to the chaos. Then, things took another twist. An anonymous source stepped forward claiming to have old footage and voice notes related to the alleged Hollywood mentorship network. The claims were never verified, but they reignited every theory online. People were desperate for answers, demanding investigations and transparency from the industry. With every new claim, Hollywood's polished image started to crack even more. What once looked like a dream world of fame and luxury was now being exposed as a place full of secrets, pressure, and power games. And just when people thought the story had peaked, another unexpected voice came forward. Someone who claimed to know exactly what happened to Bryshere. And then, boom! Another insider suddenly stepped into the spotlight, sending shockwaves through social media all over again.
That came to me and begged me for my help. I told her to get away from Charlie. I did everything that I could do to get Bryshere, to help her get Bryshere out of California into Chicago State to be ready for filming. She knew she knew what Will did to him. But because of Charlie, see?
This new voice claimed to have been close to Bryshere during his early Hollywood days and said that what the public saw was only the surface of something much deeper. According to them, Bryce had been fighting silent battles for years, trying to break free from people who controlled his career and personal life. The insider didn't reveal their name, but described scenes that sounded way too specific to be made up. Private parties, secret meetings, and strange contracts that locked Bryce into deals he couldn't easily escape. They claimed that when Bryce tried to walk away, his career suddenly stalled overnight. Offers disappeared, phone calls stopped, and his public image was quietly torn apart. Fans couldn't believe it. It sounded like something out of a movie. Before long, the anonymous posts spread everywhere, and internet detectives started piecing together old photos, interviews, and red carpet clips trying to verify the details. Some users even compared Bryce's career timeline with other celebrities who had vanished after trying to speak up, and the similarities gave everyone chills. Meanwhile, big media outlets avoided touching the story, calling it too controversial, which only made people more suspicious. The silence from mainstream news had fans screaming that something was being covered up. As rumors piled up, one thing became clear. The Bryshere situation had gone way beyond just one person's downfall. It had become a symbol of how power and silence rule the entertainment world. And just when people thought things couldn't get any crazier, another bombshell was about to drop, one that would turn the entire story upside down. Here's your ninth piece, keeping that tense, mysterious, scandal-driven energy rolling while making sure everything stays safe for YouTube. No explicit or guideline-breaking content, just raw drama and suspense. Word count, 338 words. Ninth piece, continuation. Just when everyone thought the Bryshere saga couldn't get any wilder, another twist dropped out of nowhere. Out of the blue, leaked screenshots started spreading across social media, supposedly showing secret conversations between high-profile figures talking about keeping things quiet. No one knew if they were real or not, but that didn't stop the internet from losing its mind. Fans were zooming in on every detail, comparing timestamps and debating non-stop about whether this was the proof everyone had been waiting for. Within hours, hashtags calling for justice for Bryshere exploded again, and influencers started making videos breaking down every line from the alleged messages. The wildest part? Some of the names mentioned were people no one ever expected to be involved, award-winning producers, directors, and even politicians. Suddenly, this wasn't just a Hollywood story anymore. It was turning into a full-scale cultural scandal. Behind the scenes, sources claimed that lawyers were now getting involved, sending out warnings and taking legal action against anyone spreading the leaks. But the harder they tried to silence the story, the louder the internet screamed. Every new attempt to hide information only made fans dig deeper and demand more transparency. Meanwhile, a few brave voices started coming forward. Former assistants, background actors, and crew members, all claiming they'd seen strange things happen around Bryshere and his inner circle. None of it was officially confirmed, but the stories painted a picture that left everyone stunned. By this point, the world wasn't just watching, it was obsessed. People were demanding answers, documentaries were already being teased, and the truth was hanging in the air like a ticking time bomb waiting to explode. And just when the internet thought it had seen everything, the truth finally started to unravel. Late one night, a major independent journalist dropped a full expose claiming to have obtained verified documents connected to Bryshere's past management deals. The files supposedly showed patterns of exploitation, manipulation, and hush agreements that matched everything insiders had been hinting at for months. Within minutes, the story went viral. The internet was on fire again. The expose revealed that Bryce had tried several times to speak out, but each attempt was allegedly blocked by people with deep ties to big studios and media companies. Every time he tried to step forward, his projects mysteriously got canceled or his reputation took another hit. Fans were shocked, realizing that maybe Bryce hadn't fallen off like people said. Maybe he'd been pushed down on purpose. As reactions poured in, more whistleblowers began stepping out of the shadows. Anonymous insiders started backing up the claims, confirming that Bryce's silence wasn't by choice, it was fear. Fear of losing everything, fear of the industry, and fear of not being believed. Meanwhile, Bryce's old social media account suddenly reactivated for the first time in years. A single post appeared, a black screen with the words, "They can't silence me forever." Within minutes, it racked up millions of views and endless comments from people showing support, demanding justice, and promising to stand by him. That post reignited everything. The public wasn't just angry anymore, they were ready to fight for answers. For the first time, it felt like the truth was finally breaking through the cracks of Hollywood's shiny facade, and Bryshere's voice was finally being heard again after that single post. "They can't silence me forever." The internet absolutely erupted.
I open the door to Dwayne's dressing room, and that's when I see Dwayne and having an with Will.
Let me process that for a second.
There was a couch, and Will was bent over on the couch, and Dwayne was standing up. Murder. Like, it was murder.
Fans, bloggers, and news outlets were glued to their screens, waiting to see if Bryshere would finally speak out after years of silence. Hours passed, and then, out of nowhere, Bryce went live. No flashy background, no fancy setup, just him, raw and emotional, staring straight into the camera. His voice trembled at first, but as he spoke, the confidence in his words started to grow. Bryce said he was tired of being quiet and tired of letting other people tell his story. He admitted that he'd been through things no one could imagine, that the fame everyone saw came with a dark cost, and that he lost himself in the process. He didn't name names, but his message was crystal clear. "I'm done being their secret." Tears streamed down his face as he talked about the years he spent rebuilding himself in private, trying to heal from the trauma and manipulation he endured. He said he wanted to turn his pain into purpose, using his story to help others trapped in the same toxic system. The chat exploded with support, thousands of people sending love, encouragement, and gratitude that he finally found the strength to speak up. Within hours, his live video was trending everywhere. Even celebrities who had stayed silent started posting messages of solidarity and apology for not believing him sooner. For the first time in years, Bryce wasn't the headline of a scandal. He was the face of survival and truth. And just like that, the narrative shifted. Bryshere wasn't a victim anymore. He was a fighter taking back his story, and Hollywood had no choice but to listen. Here's your 13th piece, following the same rhythm. Emotional, dramatic, and full of that street-smart Hollywood scandal tone while keeping everything YouTube safe and clean. Word count, 346 words. 13th piece, continuation. After Bryshere's powerful live shook the internet, Hollywood went into total damage control mode. You could almost feel the panic in the air. Studio reps holding emergency meetings, publicists scrambling to rewrite press statements, and PR teams desperately trying to protect their clients' names. The truth had finally cracked open, and there was no way to seal it back up again. Suddenly, people who used to ignore Bryce were reaching out, pretending to check in or offer support. But fans weren't buying it. They saw right through the sudden sympathy. Social media started dragging those fake allies, saying, "Where were you when he needed help?" Every tweet, every clip, every old interview got pulled apart like evidence in a courtroom. Meanwhile, a massive wave of support formed behind Bryce. People started petitions demanding a full investigation into Hollywood's mentorship programs and how they're run. Hashtags like #ProtectBryshere and #HollywoodCleanup flooded every platform. It was no longer just about one man's story. It had become a movement for accountability and justice in the entire industry. Even the media had no choice but to cover it. Talk shows, online news outlets, and documentaries all wanted a piece of the story. But Bryce didn't rush to do interviews. He chose silence again, this time on his terms. Insiders said he was taking meetings with advocacy groups, planning to launch a foundation to protect young performers from being exploited by the system that nearly destroyed him. The world started to see Bryce not as a broken star, but as someone who rose from the ashes, stronger, wiser, and unafraid to call out the truth. Hollywood could feel the shift. The silence was over, and Bryshere had officially become a symbol of resilience and power. So here's how it all comes full circle. Apparently, Will had once assigned Bilal to look after Bryshere while they were both in Chicago. But one night, according to Bilal, Bryce broke down completely after mixing too many things he shouldn't have. And that's when the truth started to pour out. He reportedly told Bilal everything that had been haunting him for years, unable to hold it in any longer. Now, at first, people didn't know what to believe. Some said Bilal was chasing clout, trying to ride the wave of online attention. But after those Epstein-related documents dropped online, folks started realizing maybe he wasn't exaggerating after all. Because one thing's for sure, in Hollywood, nothing is ever as shiny as it looks. Bryshere's story is tragic, but sadly, not unique. Fans were heartbroken to see such a talented young star's life spiral so far off track. One viewer commented, "They ruined that young man's gift. A great talent destroyed." Another added, "This just proves what really goes on behind closed doors, and why so many people in the industry stay silent." The more people talked, the more others began questioning everything they thought they knew about Hollywood's biggest names. And whether you believe every detail or not, this story opened people's eyes to just how dark the entertainment world can get when money and power take control. But now, I want to hear from you. What do you think? Do you believe Will was really involved, or is this all internet chaos gone wild? Drop your thoughts below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and comment your take. Let's keep the conversation going because this story is far from over.